So bizarre. It went live now. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Let's Watch NFL Week 7 Thursday Night Football Denver Broncos at Cleveland Browns game. In fact, I know that you got a good price, as well as you talked about it in the picks video, which comes out Sunday evening. So you were fresh on that line. I know you got some money down, and then I know Josh Allen posted a nice update for us as
Oh,
well.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. It's just nice to see, really, because this is how weird it is. This was a rare opportunity. Chances are that if you got Denver plus 5.5, don't think about the results. You have to take that right out of it. That's probably the best bet of the year, to be honest, because you have to think of what's the gap between a 5.5 point spread and a 1.5 too. You can't do better than that, right? And you just got to think if you had enough of these bets in a vacuum over a long period of time, there's no way of losing, really, right? So you can't take the one result. Obviously I'm prefacing it for disaster, but in the long run it's a really good play. So I'm on Denver plus 6, and Josh Allen, Denver plus 5.5. That's as sharp as you get. So, and I'm really proud of that line. I got my line at 4:12 p.m. on Sunday. So at Heritage Sports, I really like it. Instead of having to hit F5 every time, they have a refresh line thing. I just clicked it every second until it came up, and then I max bet it. So I'm very, 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 very pleased. Yeah. So this is it. This is what you do. You just try and get a good price. I do have a slight argument for Zap saying that it missed every key number. 2 is more of a key number, I believe, for Cleveland than any other team. Because Stefanski goes for it the most. So plus 2 for Denver isn't traditional. Let's put it that way. Did you see the injury reports here, Big Rye?
I did take a look.
Are those tackles playing? Any of them for Cleveland?
Jedrick Willis is playing left tackle.
Jedrick Wills is playing?
Jack Conklin is inactive.
Okay.
Chubb is inactive.
Yeah, Hunt is inactive.
Mayfield is inactive.
Is inactive.
I think Hunt might be on IR because he wasn't listed on the inactives.
Yeah. He'll be on IR for 3 to 5 weeks with a calf strain.
Oh.
I think it's a little worse than that, but that's just how they're listing it. This is really unfortunate for Cleveland, who I really believe is one of the best teams in the league. It's just going to be tough for them.
So they have, Conklin, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, all inactive. Case Keenum is starting, and then is there a linebacker on IR? The good one, the rookie, the second round pick. I don't know his name. But he's played very, very well, I know, to start this year.
Oh, you mean Owosu Karamura?
I believe so.
No, I think he's playing. Is he on? He's not on the list.
Let me just pull up the roster.
If he's out too, sorry, I want to circle back to what I hate that term, circle back, and I just said it. I want to comment on what Zap said. He's right. This is such a amateur fallacy. They see the price, say Denver plus 1.5, and they look at Cleveland's injuries, and then they go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to bet on Denver. Well, that's the reason the price is what it is. It didn't just arrive there without knowing the injuries. Think of how much money a sportsbook would lose if they didn't take into account injuries before kickoff time. It's just such a naive amateur thing to do. That's the reason it's 1.5, right? Cleveland's minus 120 to win this game, and they were minus 240, 235 to open on Sunday. That was a really amateur line, though. 6 and 5.5. Because if you spent any attention to that, I was so bullish on that Cleveland line, that Denver line, because I watched Cleveland and I watched that game, and those were bad boy injuries. Just look bad. Yeah, and then the Zap says the greatest thing. Why are the limits the highest? right before kickoff because it's the most efficient line that they know of, and also they have the most data on these big sports, and they have the most volume. So the wisdom of crowds, which I always wanted to harness, it took me years to realize, is being harnessed by the betting markets of the closing lines of the big sports. Here, I'm going to put a little shout out to the wisdom of crowds in the chat here. Give me 1 second. Just bringing it up. And here we go. JV Smooth is really getting a lot of airtime here. Should Curb Your Enthusiasm really be doing like this 11th or 12th season, whatever it is? I feel like it's enough of like, and I really like that show, but like, how many socially awkward moments can you manufacture and then blow out of proportion?
A million. Like that show could never stop.
You don't think there's an end to it?
No.
I think 9 was good, like Seinfeld, 9, and the Beatles.
It's an easy show to write, but like a hard show to write well. Like there's a million little things. Like I could go out for a walk around my neighborhood and come up with 10 weird social things. I had a good one. I went out. I had a lady stop me because she wanted to ask me what street we were on, because she moved into like a 50s and older living area, and she had a plastic bag full of liquor, and she wanted to know the street because she wanted to know where the closest liquor store was that she could walk to. It was something else.
Man.
It's quite the conversation, but it feels like you're just plopped into an episode of Curb.
I got a haircut once, and the lady cut my ear, like sliced it. I probably could have got stitches.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2, nothing like major, and it just kept bleeding. So we cut the haircut short, and then she charged me.
That's awesome.
I paid because it was the funniest thing ever, and I got to tell the story all night. So, and I had like that little like Y cut in my ear. It was in like the good part of the ear she cut. So like that little like fold that just got severed in half, but it's not like, it doesn't hurt or anything. So it's just like, it's an innocuous injury that just started bleeding everywhere. And then I still had to pay for the haircut, which I found, it made me really happy to pay for because of how interesting it was. Obviously, you never go back and you tell the story, but how do you beat that? You don't.
Well, it's perfect when you can do something so bad that you physically harm your customer and then still ask them to pay. And like, I know what it's like, because like there's certain places where some employees aren't exactly given the flexibility to be like, yeah, this one's on me.
But this is a hairdresser that rents her own chair, so she's essentially her own business.
It's terrible.
Oh, it was
and
the best.
am I surprised? To be honest, I'm not surprised. Like,
no,
I know
not.
if it was you and I, we'd be begging and pleading and taking them to the hospital and buying them.
I'd be trying to give them like
a
couple $100 or something and say how sorry I was.
Yeah. But that's like, I like the Artie Lang stuff where like when he meets someone new, he just asks them for $100. And if they say no, he goes, okay. And then he goes, that's someone I don't want to be friends with. Like it's like pandering, but at the same time,
that's an old John Belushi thing. It was 20 in his heyday. Then Artie Lang picked that up. I kind of do the same thing more or less, because I think too, the best part is, especially, not that, I'm trying to jog myself up at this point, but like, I'm pretty casual when it comes to paying for dinners and stuff like that. So if you find a cheap friend, there is nothing worse than that. Absolutely nothing worse. So you and I are the most casual I ever heard of. So
Yeah, and I learned from you. Like I just learned it's not worth it.
Oh, you don't. You're on like a new level now. So
Yeah.
especially with me, treat me so well.
Josh said at this point I couldn't imagine Big Rye without his luscious locks. It's funny. I need to go get this cut. Like I'm
This has
probably
got to
getting
you got
this
to get
cut.
rid of it. It's borderline. It's got creep vibes all over it,
My which is fine. My wife got
which is fine.
my wife just got her haircut and mine's longer than hers now. So it's an ongoing joke now around the household.
As it should. Hey
What a
Jamie, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Jamie? It like I don't want to call it a comeback season, but it's nice for Myles Garrett to be playing so strong after that helmet debacle
Well,
thing that
that was
happened.
so stupid, and then like he didn't own up to it either. He just said that the other guy said the N word. Like it's just so lame, you know. I hated that segment, but I'm glad I've forgotten about it.
I'm super creepy. So, actually, funny story. Last place I worked at, they had a like a special event day, and we had to work it, and everyone decided that it was a good idea for me to be the one to give to man the candy station for the kids, and then they all were like, "Oh, if most guys we'd say this is wrong or whatever, but I trust this guy." And I just shook my head like, "You trust me? A bunch of kids and candy? I don't know what are you doing?"
I would, but that's upon further review.
Yeah.
At a glance, hell no. At a glance, no way. Further review, absolutely. You gotta add that caveat there.
So they said, Josh, you talking about Myles Garrett had 2 drug tests because he stopped wearing sleeves?
I don't even know that's probably right. It's just such a weird thing. Like, see, all right, this is. I'm not all right. I'm gonna use professional loosely here, but I got all this Cleveland gear on. I love the Browns, but in reality, I did bet the Denver Broncos because the number was good, and that's just one of those things about sports betting that, if you want to win, this is what you have to do. Like, the dollar, you got to be loyal to the dollar first. That's absolutely what you have to be. And man, does Jay Glazer look like he spent too much time in his at home tanning bed? Holy.
He looks like a Danny DeVito character from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like when they ask him to do something ridiculous. Glazer tanned up.
Tony, I got a big bet on Denver +6 at -108. So I do have a soft middle though. Some of my customers bet on Denver at 1.5 and 2. So Cleveland 3 or 4 or 5 would be the best result. So I'll just say Cleveland 3 for, I don't know, for most likely sake, if that makes any sense.
Strahan's on the Broncos. Howie's on the Browns. Reggie Bush is on the Browns. And Glazer abstains.
I think he has to abstain.
Why? Does he have some deal with like what's going on
He's
with
like
Jay
a
Glazer?
known famous gambler, from what I've heard, at least. And I've heard about him before he was on TV from other gamblers before. So who knows if that's bogus or not, but some of this stuff makes sense to me. So
It says that his net worth is $15 million.
that's about right for a really high stakes gambler.
It says here he earned the majority of that figure for being a sportscaster. His annual salary is reported at $5 million. Who's paying Jay Glazer $5 million?
I don't know, Fox News or Fox whatever, I guess.
right, kickoff 5:20. It's 5:18 p.m. Pacific time, so kickoff should be in 2 or 3 minutes. You could probably add another 2 or 3 minutes though, because we're going to be behind anyways. And then what do we still have for 5:30? We have Vancouver, Chicago NHL game. The New York Islanders Columbus Blue Jackets game today was the total was 5.5 and the under was -132, which is pretty damn low. And I'm just looking at the live line right now, and the OU on the live line's 3.5, so it's gone even further down as the game's progressed.
Yikes, these guys. Joe Buck withering
They're
away. He looks like, you know what Joe Buck looks like?
who?
He looks like that bad guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark. When they look at the Ark and they start melting, he's at the halfway point. That's what he looks like when his cheeks are all sucked in. First score of the game, a field goal, was 135. That seems good at a glance. I got to be real. I don't have any experience betting those, but that just seems right in my head. Although Cleveland kind of goes for it, so that might skew it. Although, will Cleveland be as aggressive? Will he trust the analytics with a Case Keenum at the helm?
Will we even see a touchdown in this game? That's a question to ask. I believe Cleveland had a game like that last year, right? Didn't they play in the lowest scoring game?
Thank you, babe. Donovan Peoples-Jones is hurt.
That's not good.
He's their best receiver.
Well, Beckham and Landry are active, so
yeah.
Donovan Peoples-Jones has played very well for where he was drafted. Well, that's super nice, Josh. If the person still plays Donovan Peoples-Jones and he's out or questionable, I should double check, see if I have anyone playing in fantasy. I don't think so. I think I have Melvin Gordon, but he's on my bench, so. I'm going up against Cortland Sutton, if that means anything, which it doesn't. So
It's a fun name.
Cortland Sutton, I like him. I like him as a player. Very, he was very, very productive not too long ago. I want to say last season or maybe 2 seasons ago, probably both years.
Here we go. Browns. They got to fix these helmets.
What don't you like about him?
I don't know. I like the classic ones more. It should resemble the... Oh, big hit. They should resemble the... That should be taunting. Like, what's taunting? You know, nice play, Landry. They should resemble the logo a bit more.
Also, Landry slipping and sliding all over that
Yeah, that makes sense.
film that they have.
Injure him more. Oh, that was
beautiful
so cool.
Play design.
That was awesome. What a play call. Dude, and Keenum sold that so well, eh?
Yeah, I had no clue where they were going with that.
I thought this play was going to be a disaster.
Well, I just went, how bad of a play is that for, like, designed to get Landry the ball?
Who's 22, man? You got to attack that right off the get-go. One minute, 41 yards, 2 plays. Yikes. This got to, wow.
Big run for Ernest Johnson, who's getting the spot start here with Chubb and Hunt out. You know what's crazy, too? Think about how big the hole was on that play, and Jedrick Willis didn't even have anyone to block.
That could have been like to the house almost. Is Njoku playing? I think so. I haven't seen him yet, though.
Njoku's, unless he's on IR, he's active. He's not on the inactives, that's for sure.
How leaky the Denver defense so far.
It's looked bad. There's Njoku. Helmet on, so he's active and playing.
Dude, were they averaging like 15 yards a play? Oh, look at Fangio. To start a game off like that against a really battered offense, Cleveland offense. Oh, there goes that prop. Touchdown to Ernest Johnson. This is scary for Denver bettors, i.e. me. Like, it's... If you can run the ball like that, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to understand, like, a lot of Twitter analytics, sharp sports guys, they all talk about how you should only pass the ball. I guess probably because of the EPA or whatever. But I find that so idiotic. Like, so idiotic. Like if you could run the ball constantly, it's just such a better way of going because you can control the clock completely, right? Because if you stay in bounds, it's 100% the clock's moving. I don't get it. That was crazy start for Cleveland. Wow. Dude, that's our it's Cleveland's Fireman Ed, Cleveland's version of it. I haven't seen him in a while. Did he quit the Jets at some point?
I think he did, but I don't know. I don't keep up with Fireman Ed. Who's the best super fan of all time?
That Indian guy with the Raptors?
I was just gonna say, I think he was invited into some Hall of Fame. Like, I don't even know how that's.
He got a ring.
Right, yeah, it's good for him.
You know what he does? I I know him through somebody else. He's a Hyundai dealership owner.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Is
guess
that it?
that'll give you
Is there
the
more to it, or is that it?
that's it.
Okay.
There's but I'm saying like I guess that'll give you the flexibility to go to that many uh basketball games.
Well, we just cashed in on that Hyundai sponsorship we signed up for. So
Oh right,
cha-ching.
yes.
Everyone go out and buy a Hyundai. Tell them Fat Guy sent you.
Yeah, yeah.
Make sure it's in the Greater Toronto area. There's some things that you don't want to get cheap. Is a mattress something you want to get like a deal on?
A mattress?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I guess it depends, doesn't it?
I guess it does depend. Congrats, Tony, on the nice start for DeErnest. You could change your team name to DeErnest Goes to the House. Fat Guy, not a fan of that joke.
No, apparently not. When
He was big into Ernest movies, so.
I was in the Ernest movies. Jim Varney
I wonder, like, what are they
died of lung
showing
cancer.
to Ernest Johnson? Oh, really good job running through those huge, wide open gaps.
Yes. Yes, Big Rye. Would you say the Ernest goes to the house? Is that what you said?
The Ernest Goes to the House.
I guess it's better.
Someone throw together a VHS cover with that title. It'll be featured on the next Picks video.
Ernest Goes to Camp is the best one.
How many Ernest movies were there?
I don't know how many Jim Varney made, but it was a lot. Josh Allen got it right. Alex Cones, hello. Drew Lock, Josh Allen.
What's going on, Alex?
Like this isn't really like this is still a tough defense. So like your edge was your defense against their offense. So yikes. I have Denver +6, despite my Cleveland attire. What a tackle,
Nice
43.
tackle.
And that's from John Johnson, a small safety. That's something the Broncos safeties didn't do in the last last drive. Like the safeties were doing the mime act, like you just missile in. Yeah, I know, Mickey, but I don't remember which ones because I wasn't alive. I remember reading about him. I read about him because I did like him.
Is that Jim Varney?
Yeah, Jim Varney, yeah. I think he died of lung cancer. I'm almost certain. He was a big smoker.
You have to be if you're making those kind of movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are they going to go for it? Today's NFL.
I don't think they will, but
No.
I think that they should. And the Denver Broncos are
For
casually walking off the
pricing,
field.
Alex, not even close. Just look at the odds. Bring them both up. Not close. For live betting, it's quicker, and it's more. How do I put it? Interactive. It's like you can pretty much watch a tennis or a baseball game in a really weird way. But oh man, Dude, that was so dangerous. He almost got blown up if 46 was more athletic.
It's also funny that he decided he was going to do a full jump
Yeah, yeah.
because you actually have less time because you have to wait for yourself to come down from that jump. Like it's an extra
And then
like point
set.
0.4 seconds.
Yeah.
But he did it. I always find it strange that it's, at least with your own 2 feet, you are physically unable to jump for longer than 1 second. I find that fascinating. Yeah, Fangio's old school.
Bet365 has terrible juice. Terrible. 10 to 20 cent lines. They're terrible. Absolutely terrible. Just look them up, look for yourself. If you know the term juice, you're just fooling with us anyways, I would imagine. So just look at them side by side. In fact, I'll do it right now.
That's why it's always good to have multiple books, though, because there's a chance that you could get a better line
Yeah.
at one of the books, depending on what it is. But Pinnacle will consistently beat out Bet365 on aggregate, at least.
Yeah, look, I'm looking right now. So let's go with Falcons, Dolphins, minus 110 both sides, minus 104, minus 106 Pinnacle. So it's cut in half right there. Panthers, minus 105, minus 115, 10 cents lines. So it's Panthers at Giants.
So if you're going to bet at Bet365, you'd have to be better than 52.4% against the spread to beat
Yeah,
those 110 lines or 110 prices.
105 lines. 5 cent
Pinnacle would
lines.
be 51.1, whatever it is, 1.2 or something like that, to beat at the average of minus 105 juice, which is that's a huge difference too.
Insane. Yeah. Carolina is -3 plus 102 on Pinnacle, -105 on Bet365, +3 for the Giants, -113 Pinnacle, -115 on the Giants. Better on both sides. Hey, no problem, Alex. No problem. I just thought you were trolling because it just seemed so weird. Like no one had said that, but if you're legitimately asking, my bad. And I'm glad you looked. I hope this helps you because think about it. Even if you're a recreational bettor, that's like 4 or 5 bets possibly that you get for free at the end of the year. Dude, man,
Really nice run from Fenton.
how are you giving this up? Can they not ever? Holy Tony, it's horrible. That run was awesome too, but like the hole is massive.
Yeah,
That
fear
left's
Johnson is on pace to take over Kareem Hunt's role with that start. I fear it's definitely been a good start for you fantasy wise, as far as Landry and Ernest Johnson have gone so far.
Beard. They are not. They have a rookie playing right tackle, Blake Hance, and Jedrick Wills is injured but playing.
I've never even heard of Blake Hance before.
He's a rookie.
I think Von Miller's very good.
Very good.
So far, it's been very quick drop backs, get the ball out of Keenum's hands.
4 for Case Keenum.
Someone in our comment section said that they actually think Keenum might be an upgrade over Mayfield.
I mean, it's tough to say. I would say no just because of the closing line, but it's perhaps not that big of a drop, though. You can make that argument.
Looks like we have an inside linebacker down for the Broncos, Micah Kaiser.
And that secondary should be pretty good here.
Yeah, Mickey said 100% Keenum's better than the 80% Mayfield. Josh said they're already thin at linebacker. Alex, I think 99.9% of our bets are single bets.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you'll find a parlay worth
1 in 1,000 maybe.
Worth it. Fear said Keenum was great with the Cougars and has done well in the NFL, so Cleveland is good. Yeah. There's people have faith in Case Keenum. He's actually one of the better backups in the league, if I had to say. And they're lining him up to go deep there.
He caught it.
What a terrific catch by Landry, who bobbled that one.
Really well.
And is that Bryce Callahan with the coverage? I didn't see. They might have him as the nickel. The nickel corner.
Bryce, don't call me Randy.
Yeah. What a catch. They always show, they always highlighted Landry and Beckham working on their hands in college type stuff and challenging themselves. And that was one of the first times I've actually seen them put it to use. That was a terrific catch from Landry. Alex, there's a join button on YouTube. I'll post the link for you just to make it nice and easy. But I highly recommend. There's a lot of good info that Fat Guy and I have been working on.
Discord is a really nice hive of information.
And it is relatively cheap. It's $5 a month.
I think that's offside. Oh my! That camera woman got
I don't know. Simmons probably didn't get his feet in there, but it was a nice play, anyways.
That was a nice route.
Let me know if that link works for you. That's the link to join.
Dude, that camera person got annihilated.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Fat Guy's favorite play call there. Fullback dive for the first down.
That's how you do it. Do you see how heavy that guy is? Please. Please. It's just a pure mass thing, all right?
Fenton in motion.
They didn't whistle that down early,
German suplex.
Yeah, it's price to move, as they say, Alex. We're trying to build a community here, and that's about as low as we can make it. So,
and then I'll post the link to join the Discord.
There you go. Man, he's slippery.
I haven't had the chance really to watch much of Cleveland's games, but Fenton is, off the top of my head, I think a 6th-round pick from this year. Let me double check and make sure. Yeah, he's a 6th-round pick from 2021. Demetric Felton. I keep calling him Fenton. Demetric Felton, 189, 5'9", from UCLA.
Oh, Josh Allen, thank you for answering that question there. And you have both of our expertise at an arm's length, more or less. Wow. 4th down here. Field goal attempt for the Browns. This isn't a gimme at all.
Yeah, it's really...
That was a hold, too.
The Discord... Well, first of all, the membership has the Discord channel. And inside of the Discord channel, we talk boxing, fantasy football, food, horse racing, MLB, motorsports, movies, college basketball, college football, NBA, NFL, NHL, golf, different gambling resources, soccer, different sports books, stocks, TV, UFC, and YouTube videos. As well, Fat Guy does some poker stuff on the side.
That was an incredible kick. That was an underrated kick, by the way.
Oh, I didn't see it, but I saw that he made it. And the betting market stuff, we're just starting to scratch the surface, but we have all the data on spreads and OUs and money lines from the start of last year. And I've been posting betting market information. So is there a ton of wind in that kick? Is that why it was so impressive?
29 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and he kicked it like just perfect.
Interesting to see that the Google moderator team deleted all of Alex's messages.
Oh. I suspect I know who Alex was.
Oh yeah, Tony. The betting markets have the information has only expanded since then. I was thinking the same thing, Fat Guy, but it's so hard to differentiate.
Yeah. Well, he's getting better at it.
Yeah.
Nice tackle, man. Mac Wilson.
This Browns team has come to play in this first quarter.
I'm tired of that stupid photo. 25 grand? There's 12 stacks there. 12 stacks of what? It'd have to be stripper money. There's no way.
Those are $250 bills.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't they just snap it instead of pointing and take the free play?
Well, it was the guard that jumped, so he can't snap the ball for the center. But I know what you mean. I'm completely on board with that. But this is a nice break for the Broncos to start out this this drive.
Dude, look at the wind. How are they booing? That was so clear as day. Malik McDowell, who former first round pick, who had his NFL dreams in limbo and now looking good. Mickey, I'm all right in anagrams. I don't know how you can make Todd Field out of Alex Cones, but there's something in there. We can get sex out of that. There's that. Seems like a Dylan Todd Field thing. Oh, nice change, of course. Was that Javonte Williams? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with his early career. He's played very, very well.
How heavy is he?
I'll take a look and see.
Because in the draft stuff, they kind of hyped him up like a bruiser, but like he doesn't look like it when you look at him there. Looks small.
He runs with incredible power. Let's put it that way. There was
That's a nice run. That's a nice run.
Specifically, Fat Guy, there was a run that he had a few weeks ago where he essentially carried a guy on his back for probably about 15 yards. It was very, very impressive.
Maurice Jones-Drew-esque. I love that style of running. It's my favorite.
It was insane.
You know what's funny? That last run was probably the best run of the entire game, even though like it wasn't nearly as successful, let's say.
Yeah. He's very prototypical, 5'10", 220, a guy
220, he doesn't look it. That must be legs. He just Oh!
What a catch by Courtland Sutton.
Okay, and I love it. He did a little point, hand the ball to the referee. Not nearly as flamboyant as the Beckham twins. Holy, was that good. How did he catch? Woo! Oh, what a tackle.
What a tackle by Hill.
Wow. I swear, man, that's gotta, like, this is what the type of tackling you need to put yourself over the top. Like, it's such a, I don't know. If you want to be a good team, you have to tackle like that. On defense. Yeah, almost like puts into question a little bit because you see the Chiefs are a bit dinged on defense in comparison.
Well, it makes a huge difference, right?
Yeah, again, this is anecdotal and not scientific whatsoever, but this is some good tackling, though, man. And this is not a guy that's easy to tackle, like just as we had mentioned. So, Takaris McKinley, another former first-round draft pick. How many first-round draft picks are on the Browns' defense? Clowney, first overall. Myles Garrett, first overall. Late round picks was McDowell by the Seahawks, and he got an ATV accident. Tack McKinley was a late round pick by Atlanta.
There's only 3 guys on the Browns defense who were drafted by them in the first round, and that's Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and Greg Newsome.
And who?
Greg Newsome, the corner.
Yeah, it's by the Browns though. These other guys I had mentioned weren't drafted by the Browns.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to see where guys that from other teams were drafted.
Yeah, McKinley. Whatchamacallit? Takaris McKinley, Clowney, and what was the other one I just mentioned? Malik McDowell. That's the other one. Those are all first round picks.
Even guys like Greedy Williams, who was considered a first-round talent but fell to the second round. Safety Grant Delpit from last year.
Yeah, another one.
It helps when you have high second-round picks, too.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're
close.
Pretty much first-rounders anyways.
The only guys that aren't first-rounders are the linebackers. Maybe there's some sort of advantage there. I mean, Andrew Berry is, an economics major from Harvard. Wouldn't imagine that there's a little bit of money ball happening there.
The Rams Lions is currently sitting at 16.
Wow. John Johnson the third, a third-round pick.
Rare interception from Teddy Bridgewater. Just Johnson did a really nice job.
Tim Patrick? No, Brown.
John Brown.
Smoke, eh? Still in the league.
Yeah, he didn't start the season, at least on the active roster, but he was signed and I think spent maybe a few weeks on the practice squad.
So weird, the idea of him on a practice squad.
Yeah, it's
like the guy's played for 10 years.
It's become pretty common now for players to be on the practice squad for a few.
How did Johnson get out of that? I thought that guy had him 98. Just
yeah,
all he needed
Purcell.
was Mike Purcell, yeah.
Teddy was 6 turnovers in his last 3 games, so hasn't
Not
been
very,
good for him. But also, it's been 3 losing games, but 3 games I think that he's been, well, for sure he's been losing at some point in all of them.
Well, and also too, like the quality of teams they've played in the first 3 games compared to the last 3 games, not even close.
Yeah.
How is that guy getting out? Wow.
Yeah, Denver is they're losing the battle of the line of scrimmage right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, on both sides. Dude, that was a great run. Unbelievable. This guy's played really well too. Holy. Yeah, he would have been. I thought him and Felton would have more of a split. Is that John Kelly Jr.? John Kelly has two E's in it, doesn't it?
It is John Kelly.
Formerly of the Rams. He's a skateboarding enthusiast, much like our friend. I guess everyone's running like grease lightning here. Holy. Oh, there we go. Former Ram. I guess I was preemptive on it. And that was confirmed by Joe Buck.
2 backs in on this next play. They've got John Kelly in the backfield. It looks like Felton's split out wide.
Stump Mitchell, what a name. That makes sense. If I heard Stump Mitchell, this guy's beard would come up for sure.
I've never heard of many Stumps.
That's got to be a false start.
Yeah, Batonio flinched.
That was such a weird hard count.
Well, it's also that it looked like Denver was bringing a blitz. Like it looked like 7 guys coming on that next play. So it was going to be a boom or bust play for both sides.
Stump Mitchell was a running back? I want to look it up now. Dropped by Beckham on a slant. That's 3 in the last 3 weeks.
That play,
$20 million man.
That play was designed so nicely too, because they brought
That's
the running
his best
back
route.
Well, they brought the running back in motion to see, like, are they in man, are they in zone? And when the linebacker clears out to follow, it's like a clear indicator for Keenum to go there. And Beckham had so much space. Like, there was really no one around him. To drop that ball is...
Oh, man.
It's so tough, right? There's so many players in the league that could make that catch. And it's just rough when you see a guy getting paid as much as he is not make those plays. Man,
when that ball was in the air, who did you think was the favorite?
Surtain for sure. Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah. Like it's just that feeling where I was like, oh, where is this going?
Well, isn't I believe it's Anthony Schwartz. Isn't he supposed to be like a speedster?
Yeah, 3rd round pick.
He's 6 feet, 186. What's Surtain? Surtain 6'1", 205.
Stump Mitchell had a 10-year NFL career. 32 touchdowns, 4,647. He is second in all-purpose yards behind Larry Fitzgerald. What?
For the NFL or for
In for the Cardinals, like franchise.
nice.
I would have guessed Bolden would have had more. Jake Jacobs, JJ, how are you, sir?
What's going on, Jake? Jets 2-1. That is nice.
Hmm. How are the Blackhawks doing?
They're minus 141 on the live line, so I don't know if that's if there's been any goals or
It's about what closing is.
maybe it's like a 1-1 tie because I see the OU's at 7.5. Yeah, 1-1 halfway through the first.
They're ripping on like um the quarterbacks after Peyton Manning. When they won with Peyton Manning, he was barely the guy. Brock Osweiler was a comparable quarterback at the time. So I don't know. Like it just you can't replace it. Like I don't know why they make such a thing like, oh, it's John Elway's fault. He couldn't replace Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was a Peyton Manning. There's no guy. There's no one you can get. Like I don't understand why that's like always the GM's in trouble. Like as if they're not trying to get one of those guys at all times. Second and 15 here.
That was a
Nice job.
nice design play, but Gordon not able to break a tackle.
No.
That was a sneaky one lineman screen.
I like that kind of stuff. He probably needed to get you need the lineman though to get an angle inward and to go on the outside. Well, it's a Pat Shurmur offense, so I would imagine that makes the most sense.
Ironically, it's been Cleveland that's had the success with the screens so far early on.
Similar styles of offense, though. Oh.
Well, Browns get the stop.
Shouldn't the Broncos be selling out on stopping the run at this point?
I don't know about selling out, but focusing on stopping the run, I think, would help their chances of winning.
It's a nice punt.
I know this is like hard to quantify, but I wonder what the best team all time has been when it comes to like receiver or running back, like blocking wise, like all your players.
I mean, I there has to be something more creative in like the return game. It just I don't know. We haven't seen much movement in terms of creativity in years. There, what's the who was most interesting? Oh, John Fassel or Jim Fassel, whichever. I think Jim Fassel when he was with the Rams, and he was even with the Rams with Jeff Fisher. Remember those lay down plays? Remember that one with
Yeah.
Stedman Bailey?
Well, I feel like there was a few years there where like the Rams had no business beating the Seahawks, but then they would like every year, and it felt like it was like a special teams, like one or two special teams plays or trick plays that would maybe be the difference.
Remember one of the games was early in my betting career, and it was a heartbreaker. I still got the cover, but I had them on the money line too, and I think it was 14-13 Seahawks. But like the Rams just ran all over them and played great on special teams. Fact, I have Texans offer you Watson for Garrett and 2 first rounders. You taking it? Absolutely not. Not even close. I don't think he's gonna play again. Like that's just me. Like this is the death knell. This is 2021. That you, if those you're betting on a lot of, you're betting on a court case. I don't like his chances either. You know what I mean? When 21 people are lying, I don't know. Just the math doesn't just add up, right? So I wouldn't even trade a first round pick for Deshaun Watson. I could have egg on my face with that, but there's absolutely no way.
I don't get how first rounders are even in the conversation with a guy who's not even playing on his own team.
Yeah, I know. It's I don't get it myself. I think people are underestimating the state of like his chances of playing.
Four Broncos in on that tackle. Five, sorry. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens, but like I know there was a ton of rumors swirling the last day or two, and I hate the rumor stuff here. I just hate it. Like
Yeah, it's 90% garbage.
well, it's for
Clicks.
publications to get clicks or get views or whatever it is they're trying to do. It absolutely means nothing.
That was a good pass and a good tackle. An appropriate spot. All right. We got a win for the offense, defense, and the referee.
Are we going to see a fullback play action off a fullback run? That's what I'm calling for here.
They wanted 3 firsts and 3 seconds, Beard. They're going to have to lower their expectations
Well,
if that's actually
allegedly, like no one actually knows what any of this stuff is. Like it's all made up. It's all fake.
Sentence. Yes.
It's it's not like the Miami Dolphins came out and said this is what we were offered or what we like. None of it. It's all just whatever people say. It holds absolutely no weight. But that's why I find it so boring. I just find it so boring and so lame. Like
you know what you could tell too? You could what's a good tell whether something's has legs or not is if the odds shift. If anyone's gonna know first, it's those guys. Nice pass defense.
I really like Surtain.
That was awesome.
But that was
I only
also like
go ahead.
a lot of that was caused by the rush. Like Keenum
Yeah.
just threw it out there. He's actually lucky that worse didn't happen.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a pick. Good job on Miller not getting a flag there.
Also, it's always fun to see teams line up at tight end on a guy like Von Miller. Just never works.
He's just asking for it.
Broncos in zone.
Dude, this guy got like 4 more yards than you should have on that play.
The safety kind of saw it coming too and creeped up, but it didn't matter.
I don't know. I don't get why the safeties just don't sell out like Jonathan Abrams style on those. Put your arms out wide, get him, slow him down at least. Because if you get a lineman on him, it's over. Nice first down, Harrison Bryant. All 3 tight ends getting some attention here.
I don't think we're going to get to see a replay of this play, but I really want to see what happened in coverage with 40 because he just looked like he was in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we're going to get to see it here. I'm going to highlight 40 and see what... Simmons came on a blitz. Oh, yeah, 40 was following the fullback. But a nice read by Keenum to get that.
Wow. Interesting. He didn't look back, but he was right on him. I don't know. I want it. Don't want a bulldog on the helmet. I want a classic helmet. The bulldog should be on the sideline. Mind you, next time I'm at a Flying J, I'll put your idea through. That was so amateur, that spin. Like not knowing where you are.
From Schwartz?
Yeah. Very rookie.
Makes it a much more manageable 3rd and 9 after that quick hitter play. Denver brings the pressure, and it's against the screen. And Joku gets there. He's just going to beat. He's just physically stronger than Jackson is to make that play.
The yards after the catch have been so much better for the Browns today.
Oh, yeah. It's just they got him in the perfect play call there. It's a blitz against a screen. Like, it doesn't get much better. They are also doing it against Von Miller, so they're taking advantage of that pass rush because you got a feeling. Well, Von Miller's coming all out on a 3rd and 9 play. So it's beautiful play calling. This is what
it is.
The coaching advantage gives you, though, is these kind of plays, these kind of first downs. Most other teams would be attempting a field goal right now. And it looks like a coverage sack here for the Denver Broncos.
Well, if Shelby Harris gets there, that's a good indication.
Mickey said this is a coaching mismatch. It's It's been a very, very strong start for Cleveland on offense.
I think Stefanski is the best coach in the league. I think I said that at the start of the year too, preseason. I stick by it.
Well, just every week it just feels like it gets stronger. Like you see more things that you like from Stefanski and just how the Browns are able to approach and
the decision
kind of
making.
attack every game.
Dude, to even get 2 yards there, that was impressive too.
It was.
And that's got to be wearing too. Like for a guy to break tackles continually means the play is extended, means the effort is extended, and that's got to like weigh a little bit. Like there has to be some stronger regressional metrics here. Look at Von Miller's mouth. Like,
well,
there's some huffing and puffing going on right now.
You know what else is interesting about that play is that takes them down to the 2-minute warning. But like keeping the ball on the ground there, especially if you think that the Broncos are going to drop back and play zone, like that draw makes sense. Plus it takes you to the 2-minute warning. You still have all your timeouts. Worst case scenario, you get stopped and the other team just is on the other side of the 2-minute warning. Best case scenario, you pick up this first down and you could probably keep the ball close to, if not till the end of half.
Which is ideal. I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about. We always argue about why did team do X in regards to clock management. And I just realized we've never spoken about it with the Browns.
Corey, I don't think it's all about just Keenum versus Mayfield. Like, there's just a cluster of injuries for the Browns on a short week. So it's who knows how much all of it affected the line and at what point. I wasn't watching it close enough to know when guys were announced and when lines moved.
I don't know. I think if the Browns are going to make a play for a quarterback next year, it'll be for Rodgers or Wilson, one of those disgruntled veterans, and I think that would be the way to go. But again, it's just all speculation. Who knows? They'll probably end up signing. My guess is they end up signing Baker short term. That's my guess.
The Browns might become Super Bowl favorites with either one of those two guys you just mentioned.
They should be. They should be given odds minus 425, true odds minus 800.
You mean plus 425 or plus 800 for Super Bowl futures?
Yeah,
Is
sorry,
that what you mean?
I said minus. That was silly.
I was like, wow, you are very confident in the Browns.
No.
But like this team is just set up for success. It's really good, very, very good coaching, if not the best, and a very good roster too.
They're probably the best roster if you take out quarterback in the league.
Don't say that. Corey Haslam watches the streams. Public fat over the Broncos beating Jets and Jags and Giants. That's true too. Really, it's come down to Cleveland's just own the line of scrimmage, and it's not even about like just winning each play. It's like having that, they're playing chess when the Broncos have been playing checkers in this game. It just feels like the Browns have had the right play call ready to go in each situation. But this is where like coaching in the NFL is just so big. Like the difference between a lot of these players is pretty minimal.
Aside from quarterback. Which receiver fell down?
It's just been not Beckham's night, but kind of, well, the thing what I was gonna say is for Cleveland, it's been uh, this is how it's been though. Like Beckham has struggled, and the team has played very, very well despite
Yes.
that. So it's all right. 26 mile per hour winds they're highlighting. This is the first I'm gonna get to
Chase
see it.
McLaughlin. I don't know, getting paid $20 million to be a below average receiver, Mickey. Wow. Wow. I saw a bunch of Broncos give up on that too.
I want to see what happened here because I didn't even see the actual block.
Shelby Harris got it. I didn't see it either. This is a good. All right on.
Yeah. I guess that's one of the things about throwing interceptions once in a while. You got to make a tackle. And Odell is like, honestly, like a couple of these plays have just been bad luck, but it's such terrible optics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when is Odell's contract done, or when can he be released without
Next year, I
penalty?
think
Or
it's $1 million penalty next year, which is 100% what will happen.
yeah,
Him
Odell
and Landry, 37 million, and they'll only cost them like 1.8 million to release both guys next year.
Odell's trying to cash his under receptions bet. Yeah, it feels like it.
And then if anyone's wondering where the Browns will get the money, you release those two guys, you have money to do anything you want.
It's just crazy. Like you're getting really nice production from essentially a running back that nobody wanted, and a 6 round rookie running back. Who like
Donovan Peoples-Jones is what, a 7th round pick or 4th round pick?
he's a late round pick, and it's all these guys have played very, very well.
Well, and part of it's like incentive based. Like if you're Odell, like I just as a human, you get paid 20 million a year. There's a lot different incentive than Donovan Peoples-Jones who gets 500 grand. You know what I mean? And I always find that funny, the disparity in pay gap. He's getting paid what, 40 times the amount. He's not even 10% better. How can you, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't add up. That's why I almost advocate, I think, trading first and seconds, once you have a like a kind of a solid base, trading those down and getting multiple thirds, fourths, fifths is probably the way to go. And then playing like the numbers game, because that way, if you get one gem at a rookie salary in the third, fourth, or fifth round, like there's no better value than that. The best draft pick in the last 20 years, you know, that doesn't include Brady, is Russell Wilson, 3rd round pick. Because how much did he get paid? He got paid 550 grand. He won a Super Bowl. When in reality, at the time, he should have got 25 million, right?
Yeah, it allows you to be so much more flexible at other positions. Like you can have luxurious free agent signings at other positions that
Absolutely.
you don't get for the most part. Don't buy players, buy wins. For me, it's like Fat Guy always talks about, just put the money into coaching staffs and developing these players. Like that's really where the value comes.
There's no cap. Like if you were a billionaire and you really wanted to win, like a multi-billionaire, just spend 35 million a year on coaching. You can get hired wherever you want. You know what I mean? Like Shahid Khan spent 60 million or 38 million revamping the Jaguars locker room. Why don't you just spend that a year on coaching? You're not going to end up with Urban Meyer, I'll tell you that much. Ugh, that was ugly. Very ugly. Well, I mean, it's the thing is, though, the Yankees spend way more than that. Like compared to the average, way more. They can afford it, but like if I were the Rams, I would do that. But I mean, I guess the Rams have a pretty good situation. But you could add the best. Like, here's a good example. Um, what would it take for Nick Saban to be a defensive coordinator? What if he what he I think he gets 8 million from Alabama, maybe 9. Oh, he might get 12. He's the highest paid um coach in the world, I think, actually. What if you did, like, I don't know if money matters to him and he's in a great situation, but if you put a contract out there for 20 million, it's gonna be tough not to have that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's the example, but I mean there's anybody. You can get anybody. Dollars speak, right?
And Urban Meyer's just been a disaster for Jacksonville
Terrible.
from
He's
start to
terrible. He's
finish.
so bad. Their decision making sucks. Their team is bad too.
Mickey calling for a Drew Lock sighting in the second half. Urban Meyer kind of reminds me of like when a player goes first overall and it's like they've never played against like an athlete that's the same as them,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
they get into the NFL and it's like everybody's as good of an athlete or better than you, and then all of a sudden it's like you can't just get by with that because I don't even know where he was coaching in college. I just know he was one of like the more highly sought after college coaches. But you have to
Florida,
have,
Ohio State.
yeah, like they had to have had the best, if not one of the best
Massive
rosters.
success. Massive. Well, he did go to Fangio when the Jags played the Broncos. He goes, man, it's like playing Alabama every week. And
Yeah,
Fangio like shook his head and went like, yeah, like what did you expect? Like,
yeah,
you're just gonna win all the time with that Jags team? Like,
yeah. Well, how about like the college coaches where it's like a Matt Rule where he's taking over like a team that was probably like 3-13 the year before, and now all of a sudden they're like 8-8, and it's like think about how good of a coach you have to be to take a team from like 3 to 8
and
wins.
not only that, it's a different 8-8. Like that doesn't even speak. They do the art. Your record is what you are. No. Carolina competed almost every game. You know what I mean? Like that's different. They put themselves into they gave themselves chances to win every game. Dude, his hard count's convincing, Case Keenum. Wow, what a
That's a
tackle.
tackle. Callahan's played well so
Don't
far.
call me Randy, bro.
Yeah, he's been the best Bronco in the secondary. Him and Sertan. Von Miller is getting
Oh
up
no.
gingerly here.
How many SAG vouchers did he just give him?
Hopefully at least 2.
It was 3, okay?
The more you know. Yeah, that's a good example. Ohio and Florida were killing it with it, but this is a different animal. That's totally true. Oh, it was knee to knee for Von Miller.
I don't think that matters, Beard. CMC being injured, I'm not signing off on that. I don't think running backs make one iota of a difference. Almost.
Hubbard's played well too. This is looking pretty bad for Miller to still be down here and all his teammates
I always
surrounding him.
find it strange in the NFL. They don't get him to the sideline. Like I feel like they take a way more extended time. It's interesting. It's just different. Because in soccer, you get the stupid. I guess in soccer, they barely are actually hurt. The faking is just real. But you get carted off the field, and the game still goes on with one less guy for a bit. Oh! Oh! I guess that's why. Did you see that?
Yeah, it wasn't good. I got a feeling he's not going to be back this game.
No.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, it's like he had such a great start, at least production-wise, but
A lot of
he's
his
still a
his
project.
success was a lot of his success was
On the ground?
gimmicky. You know, leading the league in rushing touchdowns, like that's such an anomaly. And now he's hurt.
You know what? Okay, this is great. Think about Von Miller just got hurt, and like all his teammates came out and were like on knees and watching really closely. Beckham just got hurt on his own sideline, and no one even turned a cheek. Look at, they're all like, no one cares. Do you see that? That's major.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is like, that is so telling. Literally, everyone's on the sideline just chilling out right now.
Yeah, no one's even paying
And
attention.
Beckham's
That's so
down,
true.
and they don't care at all.
That's intentional grounding. What? It didn't make the line of scrimmage. He didn't leave the tackle box.
I don't know how that guy didn't make that sack.
Me neither. But what? Where is the intentional grounding?
I don't know. I guess they said that receiver was close enough. Like I don't know.
Oh, it just this stuff is so arbitrary. Grounding needs to be reinforced here. Like it just that the offense skids on that rule way too much.
I feel like it was called more than ever to start the year.
But
What a
still not
booming
enough.
kick. Can Spencer do anything with this? Like he's
Oh
like
my
the Broncos'
God.
one chance to
Oh my
spark this game.
goodness. Why don't you just run fast and direct? Stand like doing the jiggly dance left and right never works out. The Scottish hammer with a nice punt.
I like this. Fierce said that reminded me of the time Wentz got smashed and the O-line wasn't even trying to block or help him anymore. Like it's pretty bad, man, when your own teammates won't even help you out or or leave you out to dry. Like it's very, very telling. Broncos still have 2 timeouts, but like this has been, Bridgewater has 58 yards, air yards, or passing yards.
It might be offensive. Dude, some coach just ran on the field yelling like,
Oh, Mickey, I watched the end of that. Was it Ole Miss? That college game. That was a weird game, a weird finish. I found it super strange that they had like 4 or 5 coaches, like 5-6 yards on the field, just standing there to end the game. It was very confusing. There was a college game, fat guy, where the fans started like pelting the opposing team with like whatever they could throw at them, and they had to like clear the bench for a little bit of time, and then like the coach had like an entourage around him, and they were like standing on the field as the game was finishing.
oh my,
It was
that's
bizarre.
so bizarre. You know what that was? Was it Jags Seattle?
Is that how they started the Jag Rag? Or am I thinking
No, and then
of
that
something
remember
different?
that Seattle player jumped in the stands? Like tried to?
I I kind of
We
do,
bet
but
a
I
lot on
don't.
that game.
I kind of do, but I don't. Is that game?
I
That's the
think it
Jag. Is that the
was.
game where Blake Bortles played like the game of his life, and it was like a 42-39
No,
finish
wasn't
type of
that
thing?
big. No, wasn't that. His game of his life was against Pittsburgh and on the divisional weekend.
Mickey said it was awesome talking about the college game, and Jake said he was at the game.
Oh my!
So what was it like being at the game, Jake? I'm guessing that's the same one. Yeah, it's got to be.
It was that game. It was 30-24. It was bigger than I thought. A higher scoring game than I thought.
I just that was one of the last like big bets that I can remember making was that Jags game,
That was a
and
big
it
one.
was
Yeah.
strictly on the handicapping premise of Jacksonville's D line being so much better than Seattle's O line, and Seattle just kept scoring, and Blake Bortles played the game of his life. It was his
Well,
best game.
Seattle was getting punked, and then they scored 2 touchdowns in less than a minute. Like, and we were like, "Oh no," because we had a really big lead. It was, I think, 24-10, and then we were losing. We had the dog anyways. I think we are covering the entire game, but it was still like unnecessary. Yeah, this is the one that they ran into the stands, and 3 guys got fined after.
It wasn't exactly the malice in the palace, but I remember. I feel like it was like a Steeler game. There was like a few weeks in a row there where like I remember a player took like a swing at a fan, like in the first row type of thing, or grabbed
I
him,
remember a
or
Steelers Raiders fight like 10 years ago.
that. Nothing's gonna beat the malice in the palace, though.
Nothing. It's not even
That
close.
was so great for so many different reasons, and to me, always the highlight is that Jermaine O'Neal punch. Oh my god,
Oh,
that punch! Oh,
and he really lands on that guy.
when you watch a 7 foot guy run in full speed, sliding and
Yeah.
punching, it's like the guy came out of nowhere. And
No,
all of
my
a
favorite,
sudden,
the best part of that whole story is Ron Artest in the locker room. You guys think we're gonna get in trouble for this?
oh yeah, it
Is
was
there
him.
anything better than
It
that?
was him. It was Artest, O'Neal, and Steven Jackson. And like Steven Jackson's got his head down, like his hands over his face, and Steven Jackson is thinking in his head like, I'm never gonna play an NBA game again. Like he's like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be suspended for the rest of time, like suspended indefinitely. And then I that's got to be one of the best quotes ever, and how out of touch the guy is. And Ron Artest is going, "Oh man, do you think we're gonna get in trouble for this?" Okay, holy smokes! Oh, Jake, that would have been such a fun game to be at. On the, I guess my best one was I was fortunate enough to go to the Canucks Game 7 Stanley Cup Final against the Boston Bruins in 2011, and infamously after that, after the loss in the Stanley Cup Final, the city of Vancouver decided to riot for some reason.
Yeah.
And I just remember walking back because I parked about half an hour away from the stadium, and like essentially had to like walk through the riots. It's just so weird. It's so weird when like people are running through trying to fight each other and stuff. It makes no sense. Like, what are you doing? Just clowning around at that time. But it's definitely fun to be a bystander and get to watch people act like idiots once in a while. And I remember Artest didn't even go after the right guy. He just started beating up some other guy.
Okay, so I'm looking at Spotrac right now. So
Yeah.
next year, Odell's salary goes down 750,000. He's only getting paid 15.75 million.
Hmm. Only.
So Landry technically out earns him next year. Beckham has no, um, there's no dead cap if they cut him next year. So this is a
He's
foregone
gone for
conclusion.
sure. Like it would be such poor. It would be
There's
such
no way. There's
mismanagement
no
of the
way.
cap if they kept him.
And Landry is 1.5 million dead cap. The combined, they're the second and third highest paid players on the team behind Baker Mayfield next year. And they combined for 14.5% of the team's salary.
Yikes. Did you say the two of them combined or just Beckham?
Two of them combined.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But then if you look at the guys after that, most of it makes sense. Jack Conklin, 15 million. That's fine. Denzel Ward, 13 million. More than I'd want for a corner, but whatever. Austin Cooper, 13 million. Way too much, but is what it is. Myles Garrett, 13 million. That's awesome value. Joel Bitonio, 10 million. Nothing wrong with that. JC Treader, 10 million. John Johnson, 10 million, just under. Probably a little bit much for that. Case Keenum's getting 8. I guess that's fine. Kareem Hunt's after that. Wow. Kareem Hunt's got a roster bonus of 5 million next year.
Case Keenum
That'd
at
be
8 million is like that's an expensive backup quarterback.
It's pretty standard though, like for that type of quality. Here, I'm curious what the other ones are. The other good backups are. Let me think here.
Jake Jacobs said the police went into the student section to try to make them leave. Then as soon as the game resumed, all the students rushed back in and filled up the stands. He said Kiffin gobbles that crap up. He loved every second of it. And Mickey said UT fans are wearing out his Twitter mentions this week. One of the wildest sporting events I've been to. If UT had pulled off the miracle comeback, would have been the greatest game I ever went to. Oh, easy. That would have been like one of the best college games all time. When Mickey said it was such a crazy game, I figured there was some crazy comeback. I didn't figure that the fans started revolting and
Here, put in perspective, Big Rye. Nick Foles next year is getting 10.6, and Andy Dalton's getting 5 to be backups to Justin Fields, who's getting less than both of them at 4.28.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for both of those guys. But it's one of the perks, right? Foles won a Super Bowl. Like,
yeah,
you're going to get that kind of money after doing what he did. And really, like, these guys are just, like, contingency plans for we've sold out and we want to go to the Super Bowl. And we don't want a quarterback, one injury to change that.
There's very few quarterbacks that are backup quarterbacks that are rostered for more than. That's so weird.
Well, because I think a lot of teams just kind of like grab whoever, put them back there.
Saints are interesting. Holy, this is crazy. Saints, Marshawn Lattimore, $27.4 million cap hit. And Michael Thomas, $24 million. That's terrible.
Well, it's been extra bad because Michael Thomas hasn't been able to play for, it feels like a couple of years now.
Well, then most of their O linemen are after that, and Cameron Jordan. I can get that. Dude, Jameis Winston's only 1.5 million.
What a deal. That's one of the best contracts in the NFL
right now. Sorry, I went on a tangent, guys. I'm just curious, really.
Well, it's very like so much of the focus is on like the name of a player. There's not a lot of talk about the actual like structure of salary and how it's divvied up between the roster and players. I find that's like, I don't know if it's just because we're in Canada and just the lack of shows we get. Not that I watch any anyways, but I rarely hear any talk about salary stuff.
Jalen Hurts is $1.6 million next year.
Jalen Hurts is 1.6 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
that's unbelievable.
The alarm's going off, which means it's 6:50 p.m. Time to check the 7 p.m. Eastern time games. There's one hockey
What's
game,
Blaine Gabbert getting?
Edmonton at Arizona.
Oh, the only quarterback on salary next year for the Bucks is Kyle Trask.
Well, Brady's probably going to just keep doing like 1 or 2 year deals at this point, if he decides to come back, of course.
He's only getting what? He's only getting 10 million this year.
Who, Brady?
It's like cheating. Yeah. He's
Well,
worth 35 is the market rate.
Well, it's nice, right? Like, that's one of the perks of having a guy like that. Because he wants to just keep, like, he just is trying to win as many Super Bowls as possible. It's interesting, right, to kind of understand the psyche behind that. Like, it's curious that more players aren't trying to do that.
Dude, everyone on the Titans gets paid modestly. Everybody. Kevin Byard's the highest paid player at $15 million.
What's
Tannehill next year will be a $38 million cap hit, though.
Yeah.
And Bud Dupree at $19 million. That's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't done anything. And they can't even cut him. It'd be a $30 million cap hit. 28. Wow. You can get I get buried in this stuff. The finances, it's so interesting.
Well, it is because, you know, you and I kind of fantasize about that side of things, right? Like it's...
Yeah, that would be our greatest... I would kill for that job. GM of an NFL team. With money to spend on R&D, that would be just the dream. Because you can hire people smarter than you. That's like the fun thing. And then streamline the process too. Oh, that's just so... That would be the dream. And NFL, I think there's the most advantage. Like NBA, I don't think there's much wiggle room. You need the stars. There's no... Like, is there a way around it, Big Rye?
In the NBA?
Yeah.
You'd have to do like what the Pistons did. Like, you'd just have to have like excellence at every position. They're kind of like the last team to do it without like a true star, and like...
Oh, the Billups Pistons at one?
And that's tough, right? Like, Rasheed Wallace was such a talent. Like, it's hard to be like, you know, this, you know, that team was very good.
They're the only team in the last 30 years to pull that off, right? Like, even the Spurs, you could make that argument, but they still had like Tim Duncan. Like, they're not, you know what I mean? Like, they still have like an all-time player on the team.
Yeah, it's, you know, Tim Duncan's one of the best players all time. I'm not going to count them as a...
Yeah. Not that I'm even a basketball guy, but it's pretty obvious.
I've posted the updated markets in the Discord. If anyone wants to take a look at the NHL, NBA markets.
I don't like this kick returner, Spencer.
He's explosive. Like, he's really, really... Like, he can take it to the house, but that doesn't mean he's a good returner.
Yeah, but I just feel like the average is low, like, and the variance is high. You like, if you're the Chiefs, wouldn't you want a high variance guy? You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, whatever, right? If you're the Broncos, I want a high average, right? I don't have a good offense to begin with.
This is I like this first play call for Denver. They just need some easy plays. This is kind of what Cleveland did that first drive that they had so much
conversion
success.
though. You see Clowney? That's some serious speed and jumping ability. Like that's a tougher guy to get the ball around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Teddy making an audible here just before the snap.
The language is Oakland. There you go. 2 is good. Shermer sighting, absolutely. Former head coach of the Browns. 1 year or 2, I can't remember. It was bad. Anyway, slice it.
I think it was 1 year because I remember Hugh Jackson was like the first guy to get an extra year, and it was like the one guy that shouldn't have got an extra year.
Mike Pettin, though, didn't he have 2?
Maybe, but like Pedden at least had some success.
And what about Rod Chudzinski? He had 2, right? What night of the unnotables, eh?
Oh, it was, man, how did we stay Browns fans? Like,
I don't know. Those were bad.
it's ironic too because like I really don't feel that much of a tie to this team, even though I like so much stuff about the team. Like it's weird how that works, but
Oh, Freddie Kitchens? Holy bad. And Hugh Jackson is the Mount Rushmore of bad. He's on all 3. He's the worst coach we've ever witnessed as a head coach ever. It's not even debatable.
When's the story going to come out how he would have drafted Mac Jones too?
Yeah. No, Mac Jones has to make be an all-pro. That seemed like out of bounds, even though I kind of want them to score here. And that's in. Melvin Gordon cutting the locks, eh?
Yeah, he's trying to be more professional.
You should, as a running back, having long hair is
It's dangerous.
Dangerous is the word. I was going to use
painful.
a risky. I was going to use a defamation of intelligence word that's not popular anymore, but I caught myself. Dude, that was a nice run by Gordon. If you were to do a fantasy draft where you know how they do it in Madden, where does Garrett line up, Myles Garrett? Because he's probably, the second most sought after defensive player currently. You could make a case for behind Donald. Just in terms of, like, youth to future production.
He'd probably be in that, like...
25, 22?
I was going to say, like, 18 to 25, but, like, it's really how much do you want to prioritize defense over offense, because a lot of those teams are drafting quarterbacks.
9's open. There you go. Big hit. Wow.
That was
Kendall
a big hit on the
former
ball.
quarterback.
Yeah. Josh brings up a good point. He wonders why Cleveland stopped putting the logo in the middle of the field.
Who knows? It might have been a really big pain for the groundskeeping staff. I've lined a field or two, and that's like ridiculously hard. I could imagine putting that artwork in there. You'd have to have a mold that you paint over. There's no other way. Nice. Whew. That had some smoke on it, eh?
It was a nice throw.
So, okay, so I want to go back to that. So 18th, like, what's the worst quarterback you're taking in the first round?
I'd have to look it over. Like, who's even in that like 15 to 20 range?
Darnold, Bridgewater.
I'm not taking either of those guys above Myles Garrett.
Okay. Derek Carr, no way.
Carr's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Carr's actually like where I would start contemplating.
Jimmy
But
Garoppolo.
I don't know. I
I'm
haven't watched him play
I'm getting
enough.
in the meat. I'm
I
getting in
haven't
the meat.
I haven't watched Garoppolo play enough this year, and just the
I
news
got it.
around Garoppolo is so negative.
I got it. I got the name. Ryan Tannehill.
I'm taking Tannehill over
There you
Garrett.
go. I knew that was going to happen. Matt Ryan's out because of age. You'd never do that.
No, like unless I'm trying to throw the year.
Yeah.
And why would you spend a first round pick on him?
No,
There's a lot of guys like, would you draft Brady?
Brady?
Yeah, like where does Brady get drafted?
I think second or third round in one of those because like you're just getting at most 2 years. I think. I mean, I guess 3. It's just I don't know.
Youth has such a factor on.
It so does. Oh, that could have been something there. Oh. What about Jalen Hurts? I think we're getting.
That's
Daniel
tough.
Jones. You just give up on. I think
I wouldn't want Daniel Jones.
Carson Wentz. I would give up on. Too.
I wouldn't want Carson Wentz. Hurts is an interesting one, but I don't think I want my first pick to be Hurts. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It's weird though because he's young. Like, it'd be interesting to know, like, where does a guy like Trevor Lawrence get drafted?
Yeah, I was thinking that in Fields because like Fields is like he was 12th overall. Wouldn't like he's 12th overall in the regular draft, but in a fantasy of every player in the league, he still might be like 18th or 17th.
I doubt it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Mickey, he's just creating this. If there had to be a fantasy draft, so every single player is a free agent, like where would guys get drafted? And the original question was like, where would you take Myles Garrett in just a fantasy draft of the entire league?
Oh man, what a touchdown! Whoa!
That was
the
a
broader
big
scope of
broken
that
tackle.
question, Mickey. I'm just curious: what is a player's like standing value with an organization? Because I kind of get my brain jogging when you look at the salaries of players and stuff, and then you think of like what is valuable.
Zach Wilson is another guy who would probably be pretty high up there. Like I would take Zach Wilson before I take Fields.
It's like weird to say that just because of upside, but like even though he's played very badly.
Well, that's why I brought up Trevor Lawrence, because like Trevor Lawrence, as far as like the physical tools, it looks awesome.
Pretty good.
Like he
Pretty
looks
good,
very,
yeah.
very good. But like with coaching and that roster and everything else, like it's tough.
How long was this drive? 8 minutes?
They started with the ball, right? So
Yeah, it was.
I don't think Cleveland's touched it. Very nice start from Denver.
12 seconds.
3-1 Jets. That's great. Wow, FanDuel had Gordon to score at plus 230 boosted. Yeah, that's a nice boost because he'd probably be like what, plus 170 to get a touchdown, maybe even worse.
I think worse. I think that's 230 is right, but that's just at a glance, right? Hey, look, the Broncos are covering. They are, depending on what line you got.
This is going to be a competitive finish. Like it's pretty much, to me, it's like how long can Cleveland kind of like keep this roster of guys stitched together coaching wise. But Denver also had a big blocked field goal to really limit the how bad that first half was.
How are the Canucks Blackhawks? What's that at?
Canucks are up 2-1.
Nice. Nice. Got a little action on that game you couldn't tell. On Vancouver of all. This is a good question, Beard. I love it. I love it. What do I do with the leftover money? I'd probably try and make a run at a quarterback with some sort of package. And I don't mind trading away future for once. Like, I don't need to accumulate picks. I think the Browns are of deep a roster as you can possibly get. So I try and make a run at a big quarterback and then pay him. That's number one priority for me. So this is one of the few things where you risk it all to try and win the big one in the next 2 or 3 years. So, or the next year even. And if I can't, then I'll get some budget receivers. Maybe trade for guys that have expensive contracts that they can get let out of as a salary dump, then cut them and re-sign them, like something like that, or restructure. And definitely add as many players on defense that I can possibly afford.
Yeah, especially for me, what I really like is to have depth
Multiple pass
on defensive
rushers.
line.
Yeah.
Because the more depth, like quality depth you have, like keep in mind like Shaq Barrett and I forget the other guy's name. Who was the other depth?
Shane Ray.
Yeah, were the
They were
second
backups.
unit in Denver when they had Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, and like Shaq Barrett was what? Did he lead the league in sacks last year for Tampa,
Yes,
or
he
he
did.
was close?
20 and a half.
Yeah, like he was a depth player for Denver.
He wasn't a pass rusher then. He was a hybrid, but he developed into one, right? So they like Denver had a really nice long-term plan. Not that Shane Ray didn't become the player that they want him to be, but like
He was the fourth guy. Like
the fourth guy. Like,
there's so many.
what do you want, right?
There's so many teams that like a guy like Shane Ray would be the first guy, and
At that time.
and he was the fourth guy. So,
And then other team we liked was Philadelphia when they won. They won with a backup quarterback, and that wasn't a fluke. Like, yeah, it was unlikely, but for them to pull that off, is their entire defensive rotation was stacked. It was stacked top to bottom. So your best option would be Wilson or Rogers, Beard. But again, that would be almost fantasy, but it's still possible. So. Especially, I think Rodgers, because they have a backup in place, right? So Beckham caught a pass, and he's very smitten with himself. That's a nice ball from Keenum, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough? He's off the field. It's good. He's still yelling.
Well, it's if he's making plays, it's all he's got to do. He's just got to go on the field and make plays.
Man, his hard count is so believable.
Well, the crowd was mocking Odell after that catch. That's great.
Yeah, he deserves it. Why is there no one in the middle there? Like they're all protecting the outside. Why don't you just play Surtan man on Schwartz? I like his chances.
Yeah, it went well the first half. But you could see like two guys followed some guy out wide. It looked like one of those guys needed to stay in the zone. But that's why zone's so tough, right? You got to pass off so seamlessly for it to work.
But why wouldn't you like you got a guy like Surtan, like why don't you just play man with that guy on one of the receivers? Like
That was such a late, like a violent tackle late.
yeah.
And then he stared down the opposing bench and then he called for a sub. So I don't even know if he stared down the bench or just didn't realize which side of the field he was on.
Imagine if you did that to a quarterback. There'd be a fight.
Yeah, it would have been bad, but it wasn't. It's just Dearness Johnson, so
It just turned so it doesn't matter, right? He's not a guy who's trying to make it in this league or anything. No.
no.
Oh, this is gonna be a big sack. Wow. I can't believe he got that out. I thought it was a sack fumble.
And
that was so close.
And then how about that linebacker tackling on that play? Look at the coverage and tackle
if he reached
on that play.
around. Oh, I thought it was done. Yeah. Oh.
That was the same guy who missed on the earlier play.
He needs that finishing move, right? Or maybe he should have reached out front too, and not with a closed fist, so he can't hook the helmet. Oh.
The Royal Caribbean journey ahead. Oh my god. This is shilling at its best. What the heck? Holy. Nice run from Johnson. Simmons came flying up on that play, but like Johnson just did a good job to kind of stay behind the blocks and minimize the hit that he took. He actually surpassed his blocks and was able to cut back into kind of that soft spot. 3rd and 1 here.
Look at this package. Who doesn't like it? Great.
Got there easy.
So here we go. We have I was looking up when you asked that question, Beard, there at some of the guys that I'd be interested in. Like the free agents that are going to be up are Brandon Scherf from football team, Chandler Jones, Cam Robinson, the left tackle of Jacksonville, Teron Armstead, the left tackle of New Orleans. I'd imagine some of those guys are going to re-sign, but those are any of those type of guys I'd be into. Brandon Graham, Philadelphia. There's a hold there. Dude, how did he get 5 yards there?
He's just been running really well.
You know what I mean? Like, when you see this, he as much as good of a player as Kareem Hunt is, his roster bonus is $5 million. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, look at this market. It's just flooded with talent. Like, you can't tell me that Dearness Johnson hasn't played like a competent starter of this game, or has the ability to at least.
He's been great, but he's been like, it's a lot of a product of his environment right now. Also, like
these aren't the tough games.
This Denver defense hasn't looked great at least stopping the run. But like he's getting it done. That's the whole reason we talk about running back being such a replaceable position. They go 5 wide here, and the Broncos are in man.
Oh.
This
Oh.
is a very interesting decision now for a Cleveland Brown team that's been very, very active going for it. 4th and 3 here with Keenum. This
Oh.
is a big play. They're going to at least line up like they're going for it. And they do. He's going to have to run for this. Oh my goodness. Oh my. You also have to think, how is this Denver team not swarming to the ball? How did Keenum manage to break
Dude, who's
2
42?
tackles? I don't know, but even how does 40 not bring him down there? Like, what?
Dude, that was really ridiculously bad.
And then Callahan, obviously Callahan, maybe the best player on defense today, makes the play.
Dude, what's 40, man? How can you show up? Dude, and look, you're just sitting there.
I want to know what's even happening, because they didn't call a touchdown, right? Like you can't fumble forward,
You
or
can't
what's
fumble.
the...
It's the fumble Rooski. I think it was like Jim Plunkett or what's his name? Snake. What's the quarterback they called Snake for Ken Stabler? It was one of those two guys that did it, and then they changed the rules.
Fierce of Chandler Jones is nice. I wonder why Arizona didn't lock him up. And yeah, Johnson definitely looks good. Hunt is definitely nervous after tonight. Hunt's not going to lose his job, but it just...
Well, yeah.
It's just tough. Like, it's tough for any running back to get paid. Let's put it that way.
But when you got guys like that look like, it's hard for me to justify even Kareem Hunt's modest $7 million when you're getting Dearness Johnson for $600,000.
Mickey highlighting that's the second drive of this half. 2 touchdowns, and they took 14 and a half minutes off the clock between those 2 drives.
Here's another one. Akeem Hicks is a free agent next year, and Jason Pierre-Paul, and Calais Campbell, and Brandon Graham, and Dwayne Brown from the Seahawks, Jerry Hughes from the Bills. I mean, there's a lot there. Brandon Williams from the Ravens is a free agent, and they can never afford anybody.
That's an interesting... Like, I wonder if that's someone they prioritize. But I'm also wondering if he's still playing at the same level.
He's not, but still.
Rangers back up 2-1. That's unfortunate. Dearness Johnson, they highlighted earlier, played in... He went from college to, like, the AAF. And then the NFL. He's been on the Browns, though, for a year or 2 now.
Yeah.
He's just been kind of like the depth guy. He's probably more of like a special teams player, to be honest. And probably why he's been on the roster this long.
Well, this is his biggest game as a Brown.
Yeah. They also highlighted he had like a 93-yard game against, like, I think it was the Cowboys.
Oh, last year when they blew the Cowboys out?
Yeah.
We only had 33 carries, I think, last year. Like this game's different in that he's like a featured starter.
Yeah. Well, with Chubb and Hunt out, because both of those guys could carry the load themselves if they needed to.
Jim Brown 32.
Yeah, he's been there a while.
I have more Jim Brown signed memorabilia than any other athlete. I got a painting right there signed by him.
But the real question is, who's better, Jim Brown or Geno Purple?
Well, all I know is Geno Purple's a big fan and he's paid for a lot of that memorabilia.
It's just crazy to see like that helmet. Like, you could get poked in the eye pretty easily.
They did. If you read his book, it's he talks about like trying to violently hurt the Giants because they kept reaching in his helmet and scratching his eyes. He is the best highlights in football if you watch him from the 50s, because it's just not fair. It's completely not fair. It's a mismatch. It would be like watching a top 10 rated tennis player play someone who's rated like 600 or 700. Like, that's how bad each game was, pretty much all of his highlights. He averaged over 100 yards a game. I'm looking at it right now. Career average per game, 104.3 yards. Average
In
over
a
5 yards
completely
per
different
carry.
era too.
Yeah.
Like, it would
Well,
have
they
been
wanted
harder.
to stop the run there. They had 9 in the box against him. That was a good push from 4. Where are they going to spot this?
Guessing, yeah, 3rd and 2. I was gonna guess 3rd and 3.
In 14 games, he had 1,863 rushing yards. In 1963, I'm looking at it, that painting. I can't even imagine. That's insane. He had 1,300. Holy. He had 1,527 rushing yards in 12 games in 1958. I don't even know what his receiving yards are either. They had it wrong. They said that he led the league in rushing 5 times. No, he had it 8 of 9 times. And the only time he didn't lead the league, he was suspended for punching out a player on the Giants. Pretty good player. Retired as MVP of the league. It's about as good as it can get.
So he retired as MVP?
Yeah. He was the MVP 3 of the 9 years he played.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Third and 2 here for Denver, down 10 in the fourth quarter.
You got to think
Highlighting
this is 4 downs. Like these
to
possessions
win
are lasting
games,
a long
to
time.
win
You got to
game.
win the game.
If you
Yeah.
want to win the game, yeah. I don't think Denver would go for it if they got stopped here, but we'll
They should
see.
run it twice. Like their best chance of making this ground up. That's a false start if I ever saw one. And then you run a play like that. You know, I want the cover. I think Cleveland's going to win the game. Why'd they throw the flag afterward? No, they didn't. They got a hold instead.
And they declined it, and then Denver just walks out the.
Well, they're going to take the sack, right? Why do they this is the difference in coaching. It's 3rd and 2. Like you just run it twice, and if you get it, you have a way better chance of winning the game than if you don't. And if you don't get it, you didn't have a good chance of winning the game anyways. It's 2 possessions. Like it's just really brutal. Good punt.
After this week, do you think Cleveland goes with Keenum versus the Steelers next week? I think it just depends. If Mayfield's healthy, he's going to play.
If I were to put money on it, I'd say they go with Keenum just because they said it was a torn labrum in his non-throwing shoulder. And if you saw him on the sideline, he's only moving one arm. Like, I don't know, dude. And like, even though you don't use your non-throwing arm, it's still like it's part of your mobility, right? Do you ever see a guy running with like swing? It just doesn't work really, you know. And I'm sure that's how he braces himself. You know what I mean? Like, it's a significant injury. So well, if they
Yeah.
were going to put him on IR, they should have done it before this game. It's too late for that now, I think. Because now you have to lock up Keenum for at least 3 more games after this.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is like if you don't actually need the roster spot, like you might as well keep him. Like if Keenum gets hurt and then maybe Mayfield could have played this game technically, but they're just being safe.
If there was a time to stop the Browns, this would be it from the Broncos.
Well, the Broncos need like to play perfect to even have a chance now. They need
Yeah.
to stop Cleveland pretty much every drive outside of a field goal, and they need to score touchdowns. If they'll be lucky if they get to touch the ball twice more. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness, too. And that was a great tackle from 31.
Justin Simmons with the nice tackle.
Oh,
Patrick
come
Surtain.
on, Patrick Surtain.
It looked like he tried to
Oh,
punch at the ball, but no, he just missed him completely.
man, you don't even have to tackle him. Just slow him up. Yikes, man.
Oh, Jackson 22 came in, sold out his body.
Like, that was incredible from... Oh, the feed is ahead of us. Keenum is playing well for out 3 games. Yeah, I mean, this is rosy, but like, you want to see Keen like this isn't a good enough like um sample really, just in terms of like it's been pretty soft. Like you've had the lead the entire game, right? Like you want to kind of see it when it's tough, like against Baltimore, that type of thing. I'm not sure what their next 3 games are, right? It would have to depend on the opponent almost.
Well, that's why I said, like, if Mayfield's healthy, he's going to play. Like, that's just, he's the starter on this team for a reason. And there's nothing wrong with Keenum. It's just, like, the coaches are definitely going to feel more comfortable with play calling and stuff with Mayfield.
Yeah. I used to be able to get almost all of these guys. It's way too hard. Factory is a very nice euphemism, Josh Allen.
What a tackle by Ronald Darby.
Ronald
Holy.
Darby. That's and even if he missed, he would have impeded him enough that 22 would have had an easy tackle in theory. That's what I mean. Like, just be aggressive and try it. Like, slow the guy up at least. I hate the mime tackle. That was great. That was really tough to do, though. Grab a really fast guy's leg. Diving. No way. Are they serious? There's no way. I want to see that again.
Landry, it seems like he wants to get this playoff quick. Like, Denver's got to challenge this as
You have
quickly
to
as they
challenge
can.
this.
It looked completed to me live, but
I thought it looked out. He dove and he got pushed out of bounds.
yeah.
I don't know how they're going to overturn that, though.
Oh, he never even had the ball. It hits the ground, and then he has possession while out of bounds.
Yeah, that's
So
not a catch.
And the fact that Landry came running, like he ran to the center. Not that like any of that gets factored in, but for him to run to the center and say, "Let's go," like
That I mean, that's like he doesn't. It's his, he doesn't think. He doesn't think he caught it.
no.
I don't think that's a catch, but like the overturn rules, I don't really know. Like, what is that? like I don't know what any of that means anymore. And I've been. I don't know. I almost feel like I've been wrong more than I've been right, which I just don't. I don't get it.
What I find funny is they always say like, um, it has to be like clear and obvious for them to overturn. But I feel like that's just something they say to make it like try to make any sense at all for when they don't. I always find it strange when they have like the referee explain stuff and say, they bring in like the Mean Gene, and get him to talk about what his call would be, and then they do the opposite. I always
Yeah,
find
yeah,
that
yeah. And that
to be
happens all
funny.
the time.
It's ironic because I like the urgency from Landry. Like, let's
Yes,
go. But at the
yes,
same time, it's a pretty big tell that
yeah.
if the player is saying, let's go as quickly as we can, he's unsure. It's funny because I always make fun of the guys that are like celebrating after clear non catches.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like, if you're trying to win a game, why not act like it was
yeah,
complete?
yeah.
So they
Oh, they
rule it
changed it.
incomplete. Well, the Broncos get a key stop. Jets win. That's nice. How's Nashville doing? Are they still down one? Yeah, they're down one with 5 minutes left. Canucks are up 3-1 at the end of the second period. There's a flag down at the bottom.
Fair catch.
A lot of these special team guys are staying on the field, so it looks like they're going to push him back and kick this again.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good. That's the right call. It's a false start or illegal formation. They're saying on the broadcast.
So they enforce the penalty after the kick. I think the Panthers might have won by double digits. Let me check. Yeah, Florida won 4-1. I was really close to making a play too. I saw that they were up 3-1, and I was like, "Oh, did I make that play?" And of course not.
Yikes! That's almost better that he dropped it. Bridgewater's been bad on these short passes.
Yeah, it's not really like Bridgewater isn't really set up to play from behind. He's better managing a game and
Yeah.
keeping you on track. But
Here's a here's a here's a question then. Sorry to cut you off, but follow up on what you said. When you're trailing, do you switch to Drew Lock? Like, is that better,
I don't
or
think
is that
so.
too fragile?
I don't think so. Like, I think as
Nice
a Denver
play.
Bronco, like if I was calling plays, like I would just be doing the same stuff all the time. Like obviously there reaches a point, like if there's like 3 minutes left in this game, you just got to kind of air it out, but you just got to kind of keep on track.
Well, face mask on 56.
We're talking about all this, but I also think Teddy Bridgewater is like second or third. Like he's in like the top couple as far as like pass attempts, like 20 plus yards down the field, which you kind of wouldn't expect.
No, you wouldn't.
And I think Cortland Sutton actually leads the league in targets of 20 plus yards, which is something else you wouldn't really expect.
As a player, I think that's okay, but from Denver, you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
And by player, I mean Cortland Sutton, of course. Nice. God, that's nice turning the corner. 58. Wow. That's some speed on your D line. The assist on that tackle. Look at 58 come off the ball here.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wow. Because I think he gets a first down if 58 doesn't make that play. Is that a first? That's a really tough catch. Here you go. It's inches short. You got 2 running plays to go here.
I was just going to say, I hope they sneak this.
Yeah.
The other thing,
Yeah.
too, that it kind of like, I don't like, and what I saw there is like,
I think we're going to say the same thing. Go ahead.
it just feels like it takes too long to get that play off.
Yes, but I also had this other thing too. Is when you do that wing to that wing motion to realign, there's a procedural penalty chance that's a little bit too high. I think, like
For the offense or for the defense?
for the offense,
Yeah.
like when you get those receivers to shift, because that's where you're most likely to get a procedure penalty, right? And the stakes are way too high right now. You know what I mean? Like to even like float that for the like, what kind of gain do you get?
Well, here,
You
let
know
me
what I mean?
let me put this in perspective too. What just happened is that we just had that sneak, and then the Broncos let the play clock to get down to like almost 0 before that next snap. So essentially, they just wasted like a minute 10
Yeah,
off the clock to gain 1 yard
in a
and then have
two-score
an
game.
incompletion. Yeah, it's like you have to have some urgency. You have to have some like
Awareness of what, like the reality of the game. You know, like what you need from this game, like this possession. Man, this sounds. It sounds like that's nice. That's really nice. It sounds like they're banging like those really bad trash cans. You know, like the Oscar the Grouch beat up. That's what it sounds like they're banging on in the in this stadium. It's kind of cool.
Denzel Ward is down on the field. It looks like a hamstring, maybe pulled hamstring or cramp after that last play.
It's not good.
The I can't remember if it was Cleveland, but I remember there's certain stadiums where you can like slam your feet on the ground and it makes like an insane sound. Because sometimes it's like, I don't know my metals, but it's like a tin.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I have such a tough time watching what the Broncos just did on offense with that. Like I like
Yeah.
the sneak, but like you take up so much time. Like what are you doing? Why do you let the play clock get down to 0 when you're down to 10 points in the
But
fourth quarter?
the thing about that is it's one thing if we're like if it wasn't obvious, which I don't know how you could argue it any which way. They're like you're and like it's not like this game is new. You know what I mean? Like why haven't the ideas advanced enough? Like or at least the execution of them. It just baffles us every week we watch a game and like it's not the case. That's why I guess again I'm just railing for them. The Browns and the Chargers are like they're what I think ideal football is. You know?
Well, what I find in the NFL is that there's layers. Like, you have your basic like procedural type stuff, like where to line up is one, like to get the right play call in and all that. Like there's layers to this, right? Like some teams aren't and the Broncos are probably one of these teams. It's like they're not good enough at those first few layers that they can do the top layer stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the
yeah,
Bill
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Belichick's uh, are doing, right? Like Belichick is worried about like the meta, like what are we going to be doing in this game to win?
But
Like
even
what
he on the decision making is the
is
work.
bad, but like there's so many layers to coaching and so many things to worry about and so many things to do, like more than we understand. Like we get to watch
Yes,
the
yes,
end
yes,
product and
yes,
be
yes.
critical of why didn't they do this thing that helps teams win games in this situation. Whereas like it's pretty clear like Denver's having a tough time getting their play calls into the quarterback, getting that you know getting that at the line of scrimmage or whatever, and then audibles, and like it's not a well-oiled machine. Like
Just but how is that the case though? I don't get it. They did that wing thing again just now. You should get this. There you go.
Sutton seemed like upset after that play. I don't really
I
get
don't
what
know.
he's talking about.
That was a completely fair play by John Johnson. Wow, man, he threw that over Garrett, like right over,
It was
right
a
through the
it
wickets.
was
You
a
see that?
super athletic play from Bridgewater because I thought he was taking off running. Like he kind of dipped the ball down like he was
Yeah,
running.
yeah, yeah. That was cool.
I don't mind these plays like on the outs, but it would be really nice if the guys were able to get out of bounds to
Yeah,
at least stop the clock temporarily. Yeah, Klopp.
yeah, but you got to get to the line here though. Like,
Oh, Greedy Williams into the game, or at least being highlighted.
Ward has been ruled out.
That's tough. He probably pulled his hamstring then, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
So here's another one where Denver let the play clock to get down to 5 seconds, and then Cleveland decided to take a timeout.
yeah. I like it from Cleveland. Like
Oh yeah,
they're rolling. This is how you protect the lead. At least attempt to, right?
Rangers 3-1, so that one's pretty much locked up and done. They can't find John a better seat in the house where he doesn't need binoculars.
Yeah. I guess it is a road game.
He's trying to read the plays.
Yeah. That was incredible. I think I should give him the first down here. This has got to be first down.
Yeah, look at this. I love the first down stuff now. Like,
what are they doing?
what, the first down stuff?
Yeah. That's pretty clear first down. Now there you go. Okay.
They gave
That
it
took
to him.
half the clock though.
It's taking so long between plays. Every single one of these plays has been the same. It's like first down, they take 40 seconds off the clock for an incompletion. Second down, they get a completion and somehow manage to take all the time off the clock on a third and short.
Well, they really want to lose 17-14, Big Rye.
I don't even know. Like, to me, this looks like field goal type stuff with what's been going on this drive. Now they got themselves in a tough third and long.
They do have 3 timeouts. It's like the Tyreek Cleveland. All right. That was awesome from Newsom.
It's funny because the receiver like got position, but then like made his body as small as could be.
Yeah. He didn't box out at all. He could have put his elbows out like this. Yeah.
0%. But it looked like he expected to keep going, like the ball to be in front of him, not behind him.
There's your first down.
You can like see it like almost like a laser down the line on the sticks, and the guy's just like first down. Like, I don't get this at all.
Oh man, he's first down by
I don't know.
a foot.
I don't know. He stepped out like it looked like he stepped out like a yard before. The tippy toe of that left foot.
I guess Cleveland can. Let me see here.
So you can't see his foot in that angle, so it's a useless angle. So he looks about a half a yard short from where his left foot steps out.
This might not be a bad challenge.
Do I think Fangio will go for it? I do not.
I think it would be completely ridiculous if he doesn't. But
I agree. I think it'd be ridiculous if he doesn't, but I think it's a 10-point game. I think his thinking is that a field goal will put them within 7, like a one-score
oh my
game. So
god, it's so asinine. You
I
had
think
like
so too, but
getting into field goal range isn't the problem. Like I mean, it is a problem, but by comparison, it's not even close. You know, like you have McManus. It's like you have one of the bigger legs. I understand the wind and all that stuff, but like, are you really going to get in a better position to score a touchdown than right now? No. Like, I mean, you could, but mathematically, you're way less likely to.
well, they're also at the mercy of if you give up like 2 more points in this game, it becomes a 2-score game. So it's
Well, it's even another reason to. Oh, they're going for it.
so they did mark him short.
Look at this ref. What did he let him get to the line? They're going to sneak it. He's got it. That was a terrible. Wow. That was a terrible play call, though, I think, because it was so obvious. Like how much more can you help it? Oh, it looks way more likely than he did on that.
Javonte Williams definitely helped out with that.
Yes,
with that.
100%. That's who got the first down. He should get a rushing yard for that.
What a catch by Tim Patrick. I kind of want to see this replay of.
Greedy Williams played that great, though, to push him out of bounds. That was good on offense, good on defense.
I thought that was way overthrown. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Great job by Greedy Williams. Really nice play.
And he can't get his leg down because it's blocked by the thigh of Greedy Williams. That's just awesome football right there. There's a hold against 72. I don't know if they're going to call it.
So I really want to keep my eye on the clock here and how it works because he stepped out of bounds. The clock stops, but I want to see if it starts up again once the ref puts the ball down. Yeah, so the clock's going now.
Is it inside 5 minutes?
I guess. I'm not 100% sure how that works. They go with the screen.
They might get it.
What a play call. What a play call.
I want the cover, and I'm going to get the cover in a Cleveland win, hopefully.
What a play call there. That was terrific. I was not expecting a touchdown on that play.
Dude, I got to be honest, there's something about a guy with a full head of steam, though. You know what I mean? That's why I hate the dancing side to side. Even though this is a little bit east before you go west, west before you go north, but I don't know. Look at that head of steam on this little guy. And he almost tripped, too. Wow.
Sutton used the scoreboard to see what was going on. You always hear people talk about that, but it's very impressive to actually see it get done.
Clock doesn't stop permanently under 5 minutes. Yeah.
Thanks, Jake.
I always get it confused. For how many years we've been doing this, you'd think we'd have a better handle on it.
Well, it's just not something I've ever really focused on because usually, like, outside of 5 minutes, you're not exactly thinking about clock stuff. But, like, this is such a perfect scenario where both teams, There's been 3 possessions, I believe, 3 touchdowns, and there's what, 5 minutes left in this game.
Yeah.
Do we have a drive summary here? Oh, sorry. There was 2 punts by Denver and Cleveland after those touchdowns. So, but there's like, not at 100, not like 50% or greater, but there's a chance that Denver doesn't get to touch the ball again.
Yes. They do have 3 timeouts though.
3 timeouts, 5:17 left.
That should stop it.
You should, but there's a chance just with how Cleveland's been able to run the ball today.
Cleveland hasn't scored any points then? Oh, they got 1 touchdown. Yeah, it was 10-0, right?
It was 10-0, then 10-7, and then 17-7. They got that touchdown after the Keenum run and fumble, and then they had the fullback catch the touchdown.
Didn't Vrabel do that to the Texans, the Romeo Crennel Texans? I feel like he did.
So I forget exactly what it was, but you were allowed to like let's say line up for a punt, take 40 seconds off the clock, take the penalty, and then run the clock again for another 40 seconds. Is that what they were doing?
That's what it is.
But then I think teams started declining the penalty or something like that. I forget exactly what happened.
I thought that was Houston who accepted it.
$17-play, 80-yard, 6-minute touchdown drive, which in most scenarios would be excellent.
Yes.
But
sorry,
not
how
when
long
you're
was that
losing.
minute? How many minutes?
It was 6 minutes, 8 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
$17-play touchdown drive.
Dude, that looks scary coming down the pipe, hey? Like, man, he might do it. He took 3 or 4 false starts in a row. I love that. I think that was against Houston, Jake. Then they had to come back. It was against Romeo Crennel, interim head coach, Houston Texans, I think. And they came back because of it. Dude, how is 98 the guy making the closing tackle on that? What do you...
This Denver linebacking play has just felt like non-existent tonight.
Oh, he did do it against the Pats as well. Okay, Mickey, I guess we're both right, yeah. I thought he did, but I remember it more blatantly against Houston. Could you repeat what you just said, Big Ryan?
I forget what I just said. But I was talking about the linebackers for Denver have just felt like non-existent tonight.
Yeah, I mean, really bad. Kind of like they feel undersized. Oh, man.
I think that's the second time Jackson's managed to get a tackle by pulling down on the back of a Browns jersey. I don't know what happened to that outside lineman, but Jedrick Willis was able to just get him on the ground. It's like Reed's leg gave out or something, but
I think so, Zaps. I think they did, but like this seems below replacement level what they got going on right now.
Like Purcell made that tackle on that last play. That was I believe Justin Simmons made that tackle, and if I'm not mistaken, it looks like the Broncos just took their first time out. But if you're gonna give up like 6-7 yard chunks, it's just not gonna work out.
Yeah.
And there's some. I was going to say some foreshadowing here, but it doesn't look like it. It just looks like the tracker is a little bit behind.
Good time for play action.
They
I
led
don't know
with
if
it.
everything's running so good.
Well, they led with it. They led with play action on the first play. Here they go with it again. And they do get it with Landry. It looks like they got it at least. Landry hurt himself on that play. But Landry's smart enough to get up and get off the field, even though it's probably not. It probably didn't feel good.
Dude, that's a football player, though, when you do that. He looks hurt, though. That's a football move. And look, much to how you said it, there's a lot more teammates that seem concerned.
Yep. Well, if the Browns do this right, they can be on the right side at 240 here.
You know, this long run is going to help and stay in bounds.
Denver should definitely use their second time out here. You know what else is like lame about Landry is that not one guy on the field had enough awareness to help him off.
Yeah.
Well, with the Bengals' strong start, at least record-wise, this AFC North is looking very, very tough.
Second best division in football. I mean, we knew that beforehand, though. Like, that's what we said, and I still believe it. You can make a case for Denver, LAC, Las Vegas, and Kansas City. Kansas City's in last.
Yeah, 3 very strong divisions. So Denver did use their second timeout. Oh boy.
My, that's going to help.
That's practically game. The Broncos just got punked tonight. That's really what happened.
This is a winnable game for them, but they were never even in reach. You know what I mean?
Well, it goes back to you harping on, like, if you can't stop the run, then you're going to lose games. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So the Broncos just used their last time out. Cleveland's 1st and 10. 2:27 left. So their next play, as long as they keep it on the ground in bounds, will take them to the 2-minute warning. And then a first down in bounds ends this game.
Well, that's Marion Barber, you mean?
Yeah.
You remember that one? It was against Denver.
This is one of those plays where you really do. Every single Broncos should be on the line of scrimmage. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else to do. Like, if they want to throw it one-on-one down the field to Rashard Higgins, like, go for it.
Yeah, have at it.
There's no reason.
In fact, it actually decreases the winning win probability of the Browns.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
you should have all 10 other players in the box.
Jake said something interesting. Broncos should let them score technically. Actually, yes.
Well, that's it. Like you sell out. Like there's no. What's the worst thing? The worst thing that could happen is they get the first down. That's really the worst thing now.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You remember that Chiefs Tennessee Titans game where Eric Berry and like everybody's at the line and they're trying to punch the ball out. And they almost did.
Steelers fan in the stands clapping. I didn't notice Blake Hance once tonight, which is a good thing.
It's a great thing. Is he smart enough, Ernest Johnson, to go down instead of running in for a touchdown?
He when he broke that last one out wide, he made sure to stay in bounds, which was a nice thing to see. What I think will be really interesting is if the Browns get stopped and don't.
I think they go for it.
I was just gonna ask, because there is some benefit from taking the field goal, just because then Denver's forced to score a touchdown, but then you have a chance of losing the game. So this play is pretty key. Oh, they tried to get him to jump.
That's
Cleveland
still
uses
great.
their
That's great
second
use by the
timeout.
Browns. Yes, Ernest, to Ernest. That's how you do it, buddy.
There's a flag on this play. Oh, they were not set.
Goodness.
So this comes back. The clock is
Oh my.
stopped for now. That's not on Njoku, though. That's on the center and quarterback. Like, you got to make sure everyone's set before you start that play. That's a joke.
He's gonna get it anyway. Woo! Yes.
But that really puts a bow on
so
this game,
lucky.
right? That puts a bow on this game. That's just
Yeah,
how the
it
Broncos
does.
played, though. Like
Yeah, exactly.
The Browns deserve to win this game. Ernest Johnson played really well. Like, I don't know what Darby's doing on that play. This game,
I wanted Browns by 3. I got my wish.
You got your
Yes.
wish. This is great.
Oh, so good.
Josh Allen said 1-0 in the contest. I can update that. We get Denver winning.
Right, and Cleveland won too. Yes, yes, I got everything I wanted today. Yes.
68% of contest scorers took the Denver Broncos, assuming because of the better line.
Yes. Cleveland wins, and I get my cover. Everything I want. I actually got a middle, technically, a soft middle, though. My customers bet a lot less on the game than I did. So, yes. Yes. All right. All right. Ah, that's so satisfying. Ah, so satisfying. Ah, that feels so good. I'm so satisfied. Yes, Jake, I'm glad. I'm glad. I wanted this because I really want my boys to win. So of course I had to make it as complicated as possible. Browns by 3, 4, or 5. I get my middle. I get my Browns win. I'm really satisfied. Yes. Yes. Yes.
The emotion Fat Guy expressed for that 7-yard run brought a tear to Jake Jacobs' eye. That's awesome.
And you want to talk about a well-coached team? On that penalty run, he went down. He didn't score. He went down.
Yeah, they're
like the best coach team in football, folks. The best coach team in football. Oh, it's so good. And as a Browns fan, it was never even in the conversation ever until now. And I called my shot before the year, and I still feel the same way. And this is good.
Are you talking Super Bowl aspirations?
I think this year's too tough. Like, I think they should making the playoffs is the goal. I think this year. I think going forward the next 3 years, they should have an idea of winning the Super Bowl, or at least gambling a lot of their future in the next few years. So this team's good enough. This coach is good enough. You got to go with it. Oh, yes. Oh, that's so satisfying.
Well, guys, that's it for us. Thanks for joining us for that.
High.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm on
it's
a high.
Great. Fat Guy got the perfect result for tonight, which is you'd rather be lucky sometimes than be good.
I also got +6 at 4:12 p.m. Okay, you jerk.
Well, it's good when you're good and you.
I'm unbelievably lucky in life. Think about it. You've known me for a long time. How have I ever had a luckier year than this one? It's not even close.
This has been a great year.
Holy.
Same as Mickey. Contest win, but I lost. I took Denver money line. Thank you, Mickey. Appreciate the kind words. But that's it for us. Congrats, Fat Guy, and we will catch you guys another time.
Cheers. It's your favorite.